when we get office, we acknowledge that we got that office on the strength of the PNM. And against that background, there's a standing requirement in the PNM where every office holder, prime minister, opposition leader, mayor, councillor, you pay 5% of your earnings to the party every month. That revenue stream helps to run the party, and it helps us to pay off debts that we have incurred here and there. The PNM is an organism that lives by virtue of ensuring that we work into the future. Right? It took me years to pay off that $4 million as PNM leader. We have elections to fight. You know any other political party in this country owe a bank for election money? One of my colleagues in a dire situation in the PNM, not under my stewardship, but under the stewardship, had provided a loan to the PNM of $1 million. Never got it back. So when you hear people talking about the PNM, they don't know anything about the PNM. And their members in their party should ask them, where are your headquarters? Where was your effort for the last 15 years to get a party headquarters? This is your third or fourth go around in government. Your party is how many years old? We handle things differently. As Prime Minister for all the years I was there, every month before I see my salary, 5% go to Balize House. Opposition leader, same thing. So they can make these allegations. It is for you to ask them for support for the allegations they're making. And if you can't support it, then you are irresponsible and malicious. But when a prime minister goes to the parliament and accuses a political party in our country of being so close and involved with narco-traffickers, that goes beyond the pale. You're telling the world that our country is corrupted by narco-traffickers to the point where we need the armies of another country to come and fight a war to protect us from narco-traffickers. You really figure the people who are killing people in the zone and in Laventille and elsewhere over the local turf, that the American military are going to come in here and help us do that? But we want two things. We want effective, modern policing, and we also want to understand and accept that violent crime is a public health issue in Trinidad and Tobago. Trying to personalize it and put it on the PNM shoulder, and if I come into office, murderers will stop murdering people. You'll see the proof of that already. They were telling people, when the PNM is in office, murders go up. That is the kind of foolishness they've been talking. And that's why they could come now when they're in government and they're not making any significant change. You come now and raise the ante of trying to smear and tarnish the PNM. People who are not PNM members in this country, who have never voted PNM, if they examine the facts of their circumstance, they will realize that they owe the PNM a debt of gratitude. There is not a family in this country who has not been positively impacted by a PNM policy that changed their family or their individual life. I'm living proof of that. Every one of my brothers were brighter than me. I am the only one because I was the youngest one, because public policy came too late for them. Today, the economy of Trinidad and Tobago is an economy where we judge ourselves against the world. But how did it get so? How did it get so? Successive years of PNM administration moved this country along from being a colonial backwater. Everybody who goes to hospital in Trinidad and Tobago today, they want all the benefits of the leading edge technology. When the PNM took over this country, going to hospital was to get a bandage. That's what it was, to get a bandage. And I want to ask the Prime Minister while you're on this, what is your position with respect to the use of Cuban medical personnel in Trinidad and Tobago? Tell the country that. Answer those questions to the country, because you are the Prime Minister. Right? Don't hide from the population. Don't hide from the press. And you all need to get answers to those questions. There's a Minister of Health. Let him tell you. We have used the Cuban experiment. Cuba trains people, spending Cuban resources, and then send these people abroad, give them opportunity to be doctors and nurses and other healthcare givers, and they go abroad and they contribute back to the government to run the program. Somebody come and tell you that is human trafficking. What Devant Maraj told you about the man that you make a minister, that is not human trafficking. But a policy where a country provides training and pays people the market rate in the country, you know, aping and echoing that. Trinidad and Tobago provides nurses to Canada and the UK. Every so often, people that we train here pay to put them in school and whatever. When they become nurses, people come and recruit them and carry them abroad and put them in their hospital abroad. That's been happening for decades. Is it that we are trafficking in humans? When we send people abroad on government scholarship, my children want government scholarship. So when they finish, what is the story? Don't they have to come back here and provide service to the country or pay back the money? Somebody could come and tell you a program that in Cuba where medical service is provided by a training program in that country, and then the people go out and work. The Cubans who work here, are they really enslaved? You know that? Have you all been to any institution and meet any of them in hospitals here?
There's also a humanitarian crisis right now in Cuba due to the blockade. And I was planning to ask you as possibly last question as we said. One more after that. What do you think about how this country's foreign policy is handling that Cuba situation?
Well, I should ask what we should know. I would want to know what is the position of the government of Trinidad and Tobago on this matter. I, as a former Prime Minister of recent vintage, I signed on to a document of about a dozen former CARICOM Prime Ministers expressing our position from a humanitarian standpoint that what is happening there is inhumane. And what is, you know what it is? You know that is forbidden by the United Nations? That behavior against Cuba, that kind of behavior is forbidden. If the world is to be a better place, the United Nations Charter forbid you from doing that. What is to prevent them from doing it elsewhere? Because I support your policy. The policy is might is right. Did our Prime Minister see the statement made in the Munich conference by the American Secretary of State? That is the policy we support? That Europe must get up and reclaim its position of being a colonial master in the world? Well, Eric Williams taught us too long and too well to accept a new colonialism. So other people can have their point of view, yes. We can hear you, but we can disagree with you. What our country is saying is that we're not going to disagree with anybody saying anything as long as they befriend us and tell us who our friends must be. Losing our non-aligned status has in fact cost us our self-respect on international issues of geopolitics. Our Prime Minister has a lot to answer for, and she has answered none of the questions, whether it is on Palestine, whether it is on racism, whether it is on blockading Cuba. There's a video of her speaking up for Cuba in the presence of Maduro, right? But something has happened, and she has been transformed into being the person who has destroyed Trinidad and Tobago's currency on matters of an international standing. We are far worse off now. And I tell the population something I noticed on the Facebook comments, a lot of people talking about, well, you can get gas from Venezuela, and you can get gas. Really? Is that how you go about getting what you want from a neighbor or from a friend? Really? Let me give you the last point I want to make on this matter. Remember a fella came from India a member of parliament from India, very well, one of the richest families in India, business house, came to Trinidad and Tobago and expressed an interest in our refinery and wanted to undertake a $500 million investment. And the person came here from Venezuela. Because when I went to Mumbai and I met with the group of businessmen in Mumbai about Trinidad and Tobago, one of the things I spoke about was the refinery. That group of people said, we have a colleague who is in Venezuela, and we'll get on to him and let him come to Trinidad. He came, Mr. Jindal, remember him? And the minute he came here to show an interest in the refinery, he sent his team, when he got back to India, they came and they looked at the refinery and they committed that they will get involved with the process with the government to see what they can do. The UNC launched an attack on the man and his business. And one of the attacks was that he wanted to bring Venezuelan oil here. Remember that story? Let me ask you a question. Suppose what has happened here now had actually happened because it was preordained by God. And Jindal was in fact in a position to bring Venezuelan oil to a refinery in Trinidad and Tobago. What would have been Trinidad and Tobago's position now? Would you have been better off? Or are we better off now with the refinery? We don't know what's going on with the refinery. All we're hearing is that this one, that one, this one, that one, and the OWTU. This one, that one, that one, that one, and the OWTU. These are questions that you need to put to the Prime Minister and the government. There's a Minister of Energy who has not sat down on a single table with the government when the government is dealing with energy matters. Are you all aware of that? Energy is our lifeblood. The Minister of Energy, whose portfolio is that product, has not been part of the delegation at no time. These are the people. When I sent Stuart Young to the first Guyana Energy Conference, because I was busy dealing with other matters here, and Minister Young went from the Prime Minister's office, they come to Parliament and raise Cain that I had not gone to Venezuela because I am friendly with Granger and I'm not talking to Ufanali. Ufanali is one of my closest colleagues in CARICOM. But they knew that the Prime Minister was supposed to be there. But today, all kind of energy business taking place. But the person who is missing, the chairman of the NGC is threatening our business at Point Lisas and is destroying the NGC. Where's the minister? Who is talking for the NGC? The chairman. Who is harassing companies? The chairman. Who is making decisions on contracts like they want to increase the price of gas when people talking about going home? The chairman. Are you all aware of that? But you can't ask the Prime Minister nothing because she is not prepared to come before you in her nightie.